You know, it's funny, when I started sewing, I remember that dresses were really short. Skirts were really short, and shorts were really short. And now you look at where we are again today, and you're seeing a lot of how, I find it interesting seeing sort of the iteration of fashion. How you go, wait a second, I think I wore something like this when I was 12 or 18, or so you sort of see how it comes back, but in a fresh, maybe in a little fresher way than what you remember. But you can throw yourself right back to a time when you wore something similar to that, and maybe it was a particular song that it will now generate in your head, or a particular person you were dating at the time. You know, fashion has a tendency to sort of have this recall with it that I've discovered. Probably the most special thing I did was just to make my wedding dress. When I got married, there wasn't a whole lot of fashion that was directed at wedding dress fashion that was directed at a 30-year-old woman. And everything was for 18 to 20-year-old women, and I thought, well, then I'll just have to make my dress. And so I found this wonderful Nicole Miller pattern, and I found something that I thought had more of an evening gown, evening wear, plus I got married in January, so it had to be warm enough in January in Wisconsin. So I still have it. I don't know if I can fit into it today. That would be a good goal to set for myself, I guess. But I think that day was very special because I look at the pictures now and I can see why I landed with that wedding dress. And I made the dresses for my two attendants as well. And so I think that would probably always be one of my favorite fashion moments. Fashion in Wisconsin is really an amalgam, isn't it though, let me say this, because I was born in Wisconsin, so I'm going to always be a little defensive of a lot of the sort of ridicule that we hear, you know, from foam cheese heads to, you know, other sort of fashion statements that we've made over the years. What I love about fashion in Wisconsin is it is not a one-size-fits-all. Whatever your shape or size, people become comfortable with who they are in Wisconsin. We are not San Francisco or New York or Los Angeles or Miami, but we have our own sense of style, and part of it is also comfortable. I think people realize that we have 4 seasons here. We have snow, and we're going to dress in a way that makes sense for being in a 4-season place. I think we have more fashion than we sometimes give ourselves credit for. I look at, you know, some of the fashion that has come out of Wisconsin, and Florence Eisman being one that was certainly very, very well known and well regarded. And for years, we had many fashion folks that did their work out of Wisconsin. We have young people coming up in that space today. So I love the fact that in Wisconsin, you not only get to be unique in your fashion approach, but you can reinvent yourself. And I don't know if you can do that in other places as easily as you can do it in Wisconsin. And I sort of chuckle sometimes that the t-shirt is still probably one of our favorite things here. I see a lot of interesting t-shirts. But I'm on college campuses. I'm always sort of interested in how young women are dressing, because they're giving you a sense of what might be a fashion thing to come, or something that's in play. But I think we have our own sense of style, and we don't really worry as much about what other people think, maybe as people do in some other parts of the country or the world.